Pacer, you can't eat the snowman.
No. Pacer.
A little bit windy today. First 4 miles uphill into the headwind, but honestly it's not too bad windy for Boulder. It's not blowing me sideways, so I kind of like the challenge of it. But right now I'm actually have a little bit of downhill and dirt for this run, which is a little nice break from the pavement because most of this run will be on pavement, purposely showing you the prettier parts of the run. And today is an easier vert day, and it's always nice to feel fit enough where you can take uphills fairly easy. So doing that today, and it's getting a little too breezy to talk, so I will check back with you later. Hey, you're just some little ones. Look how fluffy you are, and those ears. Have a good day. There's Pacer. There she is. Yeah. It's probably just easy as having me done at the trail. Pacer, tell Auntie Annie to do the head. Pacer! That we just do a little one. That can be its base. No, Pacer! Come here. Pacer! Stay. You're not helping. Pacer! No, Pacer! There goes an arm. Yay, no, Pacer! Pacer, you can't eat the snowman. No. Pacer. Okay, so I stopped in the town of Lines, Colorado real quick. So I was up about 10 minutes down from Estes Park hiking with Ray and Pacer, and she showed me these beautiful trails, totally unmarked. The locals only probably know about them, but it was really pretty. Didn't see a single soul for, I think the hike would end up being about 4 miles, but it was really nice to be able to do that, especially instead of a second run. Sometimes the second runs are nice, but honestly, I'd much rather go hiking, and it was at a little bit higher altitude than Boulder, so down a little bit of altitude today, and, you know, obviously, I just adore Pacer. Even made a snowman off the trail, so first time I've actually built a snowman in a while. But anyway, rambling on, I was thinking it was about time I do a little surprise for Sage. If you follow Sage on YouTube, you know he recently hit 200,000 subscribers, which is huge, and I don't think he really celebrated at all. He just kind of did like the YouTube videos and giveaway, but I feel like it's worth taking a moment to stop and celebrate that, because YouTube has been a passion of his for a really long time, and he worked really hard to build that following. And, you know, as I mentioned last video, like Sage sometimes got criticized for it, and he had to put up with some struggles doing it. But, you know, his one of his passions is to inspire and educate, especially in terms of running. He loves his training talk videos. So anyway, I really think it's time to take a moment and let him celebrate it. It's so important to do that. I always tell this to all my athletes, especially after races or even just hitting little goals, like take the time to celebrate, because you never know what the future holds. And it's nice to stop and slow down and be like, hey, I worked hard for this. I'm going to celebrate it before I move on to the next goal. So I think I'm going to get a bottle of champagne to celebrate, and also some nice beer, because let's be real, I know Sage well enough to know he would appreciate the champagne to celebrate something, but he obviously likes nice beer as well. And then I'll get some food, and I think I'll stop at Whole Foods and get some vegan chocolate cake as well. So hopefully he's surprised and enjoys taking this time to celebrate his hard work with 200,000 subscribers.
What am I looking at? Oh, I got my audio.
You gotta come over here.
Ooh, a special treat. What is this for?
It's for hitting 200,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
We need to celebrate a little bit.
Awesome. Look at this. Ooh, chocolate cake, my favorite. It says 200
Yeah, be
on
careful
there.
with the peanuts. I
On
can't
nuts.
figure out how to put 200.
And some good quality beer here.
Yeah,
This is great.
I figured you'd like the
It's good.
IPA, but I thought...
Is this champagne?
Yeah, I thought you'd want a little champagne too.
Some bubbly. Oh, from France. Le Grand Cortage.
I figured you'd like the beer better.
Embrace life, dream big. 200,000 subscribers.
That's
Thanks,
right.
babe. That's
Congratulations.
Great. Thank you.
So I ran out of time to film any more yesterday. Running 100-ish miles a week, it's a time suck, and I love the grind of it, but it's also like, man, the days just goes by and it's like I still have so much to do on my to-do list. But anyway, now it's the next day, and the first thing this isn't going to be too long, but the first thing I wanted to say real quick is that my sister Ray, who I was hiking with yesterday with Pacer, she is doing a really important workshop at the end of the month, and it is about body image and eating disorders in runners, and it's really for anyone. It's definitely would be helpful for coaches, especially if you're coaching girls or young women, and it is geared towards girls, young women, but there's definitely a lot of stuff that's applicable to males as well, because obviously eating disorders and body image issues appears in males, but it just like there's only so much time to do the talk about. So yeah, if you're interested, I'll put a link in the bio, and I would love to have you join Ray, and I'll definitely be there in the Zoom. It's gonna be a Zoom. It's a Zoom meeting, but really it's more of like an hour-ish long workshop. So would love to see you there. Moving on, a little training update. I'm feeling pretty good now. Last week I was feeling pretty tired, and even at the beginning of this week, but I just think it's because I wasn't sleeping well, and as I was saying, running 100 miles a week is a bit of a time suck, and I think I was just feeling overwhelmed with everything on my plate. But the past couple days, I felt a lot better. And some of that is yeah, it's not sleeping enough. Some of it's the mileage. Some of it is just also mind frame of stressing out about little things that are out of my control. And sometimes it really is just like changing your perspective. But some of it is just like having a lot on your plate. But anyway, I digress. So training update, well, just give you the energy levels. But body is starting to feel more even. I say that with a grain of salt because like I feel like I've tried so many things and it's like, oh, this is a good step in the right direction. And then it's been a step back and I feel like I'm back at square one. But the past couple runs, like I feel like I can keep my pelvis more stable. So I'm really happy about that. Like nothing hurts. I think it's so strange that like I haven't been in more pain considering everything. Like I feel like other people would have been more seriously injured, but my body, it just adapts so well. But that's not always a good thing because then I end up like I am now and things just feel off. But maybe if there was pain in certain areas beforehand, like it would have helped out. I don't know. That's just a theory. But one thing I wanted to talk about that I mentioned last thing to talk about in this video, is just a little bit about running form and saying, yeah, people's running form looks different, but if you look at some of the best runners you know, there are similar qualities, and some of it you can see, part of it is what the runners are feeling, but the biggest thing you can probably see when you're looking at elite runners is their hip extension. They all have really good hip extension, and that's not only having nice mobile hip flexors and not having hip flexors that are super tight, but that comes from additionally, or even mainly, is having a good glute strength and really feeling your glutes as you run, because hip flexors and your glute work together. If you have a lot of power coming from your glutes, you're gonna have better hip extension. But also, if your hip flexors are super tight and they can't lengthen very well, that's going to inhibit your glute strength. So that is a really big thing. And so definitely if you feel like more quad dominant, that is something to work on. Or that would be even something I'd do video form on. Like if you're running fast and you can't get good hip extension, ask yourself why that is, and also look at your lower back, because one of the things like I've seen with me when my hips get tight is that you try to get that extension from your lower back, and that's a big problem. It could lead to lower back pain, but it could just lead to like other things being off too. So that's really, I think, the biggest thing with commonalities in running form. Like, so yeah, like you might have people's feet pointing the different way, or running form just looks different, but that's huge. And one common thing that you're going to see in every elite runner out there, really. Also a little bit of like good like thoracic mobility. So like if you think about, like, let's say your left hip extends back, then you're going to have your right shoulder extend the opposite way. So again, like if you're not getting this good like mobility up here and movement when you're running, you might get it from your lower back, or even try to like swing your hips a weird way too. So yeah, that's something else. But yeah, I just want to touch on that really quick. We'll see if I'm able to find it. I talked Sage and I did more on this, and maybe even I might have a couple research articles saved, but don't quote me on that. But if I do have them saved, I'll link to them in the description below. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. Next week, let's see, I'll be like 4 weeks to Black Canyon. And now I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful that's gonna go. But as somebody left in my comments in my last video, like, I'm running out of time, and I fully agree with that. But have a 30-mile long run planned. Maybe tomorrow, it depends on the weather. If not, I'll do it the next day, and I'll let you know how that goes. So until next time, keep running wild.